Welcome to your Algebra 2 Power Up. Good luck on your Algebra 2 SOL test. Remember to take your time, plug in as many things as you can into your calculator or Desmos. The first one, which equation is the inverse of the function? So what you're going to want to do is to plug this into Desmos. So if we go to Desmos and we type in our equation, we have the square root of x minus 2 all divided by 3 plus 1. So what we're looking for our answers, we want to know which one of this it matches. And so I'm also going to go to Desmos and I'm going to type in y is equal to x. So everything is flipped across this line. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to type in individually each one of the answer choices so that I can see which ones look like it might be flipped across the axis. So if we go ahead and type in our first answer choice is the square root of x plus 2 all divided by 3 minus 1. That's on the same side of that equation, so I know that one doesn't work. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Choice B is parentheses 3x minus 3, minus 3 parentheses squared plus 2. Oh, look at that. We found our answer. If we flip this across, okay, this point here is 2, 1. This point here is 1, 2. They are mirror images of each other, so we know that this is our answer. So our answer choice for this one is answer choice B. For number 2, determine the number of real and complex solutions for this. Again, I'm going to plug the equation into Desmos. Desmos is the easiest one to plug it into. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to plug in 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. This does not cross my x-axis. By not crossing the x-axis, that means it has no real solutions, so you only have imaginary solutions. Whenever you have an imaginary, it's called a complex answer. Because it's quadratic, you have 2 complex solutions for number 2. For number 3, we want to know which is the simplified form of this. So one thing that I can do is plug it into my calculator. Remember to clear your calculator. Second plus 7, 1, 2. That resets your calculator. We're going to clear that. We're going to go to mode. We're going to go down to real and then over to a plus bi, and we're going to set that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to graph, and we're going to hold down our right arrow. We're going to hold that down for a little while. We're going to let it move on over for a little bit to about the count of 3. So I got some nasty little decimal numbers here. Okay. Then I'm going to go up because I want all of it to be in my first quadrant. So I'm going to move up for a bit, counting to 3. Okay, so I've got 2 long decimal numbers for x and y. I hit enter, and that stores that in the calculator for my x and my y value for me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my equation, 7 divided by 5x minus this, and I'm going to plug it in and see, excuse me, some of my answer choices and see which ones work. So let's plug it in and see what kind of nasty fraction we get. So alpha y equals, and I have 7 on top. On the bottom I have 5x minus parentheses negative alpha y equals, enter, 3 over 4x. And then I can close my parentheses. That gives me this long decimal number. My first answer choice that I'm going to try is 4 over x. So 4 over x. That doesn't give it to me. My next answer choice is 13 over 20x. That doesn't give it to me. So I'm going to clear that, and I'm going to pull back up my answer that I had, my original one, just so that I have it right in front of me. My third answer choice is 10 over 9x. So alpha y equals 10 divided by 9x. That doesn't give it to me. And so hopefully my last one, 43 over 20x. 43 over 20x. Plugging that in. And that is the same number. So that's my correct answer there, choice D. Identify the parent function associated with the following graph. It's a U-shape, even though it opens down. U-shaped graph is a quadratic. Absolute value graph is going to be a V-shaped graph. A cubic is going to look something like this, and an exponential is going to look something like that. So to help you out, or either you can just plug those in and see what the shape of them looks like. Here is a direct or a variation problem. The time t in hours you need to travel 90 miles varies inversely. Inverse variation is k, and it varies with the rate. So there's my problem there. And it says when you travel 60 miles per hour, so that's my r, it takes you 1.5 hours to reach. So I'm going to do 1.5 as my time, and I'm looking for k in this one. So what I simply do is I multiply 60 times 1.5, and that gives me that 90 is equal to k. So if I go back up here and I plug these in, if I want to get k by itself, then that means I have to multiply. I multiplied r times t. So r times t is equal to 90. That's my equation right there. So answer choice D. For number 6, the x-intercepts are 1, 0, and -2. So that one you already have your graph. You don't have to do anything except for look at it and identify them. All right, you're given a formula here for a sequence, and they tell you that it's arithmetic. It's a common difference. So D is equal to 6. The third term, so a sub 3 is equal to -2. So all we're doing is plugging in something that we know into each one of these. And we're going to see if we get -2. So if I plug in 3 in for n, 6 times 3 is 18 minus 8, that gives me 10. That's not a -2. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 14 gives me 4. That's not the answer. 18 minus 20, that gives me a -2. That's my answer. So my third term is -2 for that sequence. That's the formula. For number 8, I've got how many ways can the top 11 finish in the top 3? So the order matters in the top 3. So I'm doing 11p3. So all you have to do is plug that into your calculator. So we're going to go over to math. We're going to go over to probability, and we know it's NPR, so we select 2, and we're taking 11 items, and we're taking the top 3 finishes. So that gives me 990. That is answer choice A. For number 9, I'm looking at my vertical and horizontal asymptotes. For vertical asymptotes, I look at the denominator only, and I set it equal to 0. So I say x plus 3 equals 0, subtract 3 from both sides, so x equals -3 for my vertical asymptotes. So I can go ahead right now and I can cancel a couple of the answers. So I can cancel all three of these. Let's check to make sure on my horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, you look at your exponents. My exponents are the same. So I make a fraction with my leading coefficients. They both happen to be 1, so y is equal to 1 is my horizontal asymptote. Solution for the inequality. This one, let's graph this one in Desmos and see exactly what it looks like when we graph it. So if we go to Desmos and we plug in our equation, absolute value of 2x plus 4 is less than 10. I'm looking here at my numbers. It crosses here at 3 and -7, and it's between those two numbers. So I have a -7 and a +3 here. So when I look at them, I'm graphing this. So I'm looking at this answer here. So that's answer choice. All right, for number 11, you're looking at where the two intersect each other. So they want the apparent solution. So you have a solution here at 2, 4, and another solution here at -3, 9. So your answer choice for that one would be D. For this one, what are the coordinates of the vertex of the graph? Remember, vertex is where your graph stops going in one direction and turns and goes in another direction. So when we look at this one, we're going to graph this. You can either graph it in your calculator under y equals, or you can graph it in Desmos. Let's look at it in Desmos and see what it looks like. When we go to Desmos, we've got -2 times the quantity x minus 1 quantity squared equals y plus 5. I don't see anything here for my graph, so notice I had to zoom out. When I zoomed out, this actually gives me the point for my vertex. It stopped moving up and started moving down at the point 1, -5. So my vertex is at 1, -5. For number 13, we want to know the end behavior. So I'm going to graph this equation in my calculator or in Desmos. It doesn't matter. If you're graphing it in your calculator, remember you're going to y equals. So when we go to Desmos, x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x. This is the basic shape of my graph. This is when x is approaching -infinity, so the graph is approaching -infinity. When x approaches +infinity, the graph is moving up, so it's approaching +infinity. So we're looking, x approaches positive, that one we can eliminate. Positive to negative, nope. Positive to positive, negative to negative, that's our answer choice right there. For this one, if we look at this one and we try to solve it, if we plug it into Desmos, I think we can end up with our answer choice for this one. So let's go to Desmos and plug this one in. We've got x minus 3 in parentheses raised to the power of 3 divided by 2 equals a -8. Let's see what we get on this one. I don't see it here when I go to graph it. So let's see what happens if I zoom out some. I'm not seeing that one when I go out to graph it. So let's look back at and see what some of our answers are. Let's try plugging this side in, and then let's try plugging in y equals -8 and see what that gives us on Desmos. So I'm going to get rid of this and enter in y equals -8. Now I have somewhere where it looks like they intersect each other. Are they intersecting each other? No, they're not intersecting each other. So let's look at this one. X minus 3 to the 3 halves equals negative